All right, welcome back. In our last video, we talked about how the Old Testament actually teaches the idea of resurrection. And then we went to the New Testament and saw that the only way that people can be resurrected in the Old Testament is because of the resurrection of Jesus that we read about in the New Testament. But does the Old Testament anywhere specifically mention the resurrection of Jesus Christ? You say, well, that's going to be kind of hard because the name Jesus Christ isn't mentioned in the Old Testament. Well, I would like to argue that yes, the Bible does, the Old Testament does specifically talk about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to one of the most loved passages in the Old Testament, which is Isaiah chapter 53. And I want to read a lot of this here, starting in verse 1. It says, "Who has believed our report? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form or comeliness, and when we see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we did not esteem him. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who will declare his generation? He was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken." And so far in this passage, Isaiah is primarily concerned with the birth and the death of the Messiah, who of course we know today as Jesus. But then he gets to verse 10, and it says, "Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He has put him to grief. When you make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand." Now, the first part of that verse is shocking. It says it pleased the Lord to bruise him or to crush him. How could it please the Lord? How could it please the Father, God, Jehovah, to bruise, to crush his son? It has to be something worthwhile that would cause for him to allow this great tragedy to take place. And there is something worthwhile because as he bruised his son, he has allowed his son to be bruised, as he allowed Jesus to die and be put on that cross. What would come from that is worthwhile is that his son would have seed and would prolong his days. That's what the verse says. So what does that mean? Well, the seed is believers, and people who would then be resurrected because of Jesus. But it says prolong his days. When Jesus died, he had not been married. He did not have any children, and he was dead. Well, then it says because of his death, he would see his seed. Where does the seed come from? And he will prolong his days. How can he have his days prolonged when he died? That is a glimpse of the resurrection. He would have children, or technically we call them brothers and sisters, but people who would come into the kingdom of God, all of us as believers, because of his death. And he would see his days. He would prolong his days. He would continue to live on because he was not permanently dead. He would rise from the dead. And we go down a couple verses later in verse 12. "Therefore, I will divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong." Wait a minute. How's he doing these kind of things? How is he, after he's dead, going to divide a portion with the great and divide a spoil with the strong? I mean, when you're dead, right? That's because his death was not permanent. His death was only temporary. And it said, because he poured out his soul into death, and he was numbered with the transgressors and bore the sin of many and made intercession for the transgressors. So really quickly here in Isaiah, it just tells us that, look, this Messiah is going to die, but that is not going to be the end of the Messiah. The Messiah is going to rise. The Messiah will have a prolonging of days. The Messiah will share things that he has with others. The Messiah will live again. So in the next video, I want to go to Jesus himself and find out what did Jesus say about resurrecting himself, because if you can prophesy your own resurrection, now you really got something. I'll see you next time. God bless.